Two. Hey, hey, it's a big day. It's the 89th episode of Where's Wayne's World and Kelly. So first I should do an explanation before I introduce our guest, and everybody knows our permanent guest host, Nouchelle, so it's great to see you this morning. But for the last 3 weeks, it's almost like Where's Waldo, but it's Where's Wayne. So it's a comedy of errors. What are you doing? Taking a picture? Look at, we got paparazzi on this show. So, Miss Social Media Queen. So we had to move. We had trade shows coming up. It was like we just did what, 3 of them in 8 days. It was real busy. Wayne's got a bunch of other ones too, and he kept like right now he's in the air to go do another trade show. So I swear to God, it's not Where's Wayne, like Where's Waldo. Wayne is still all caps, and he's still a big part of the show. I swear he'll be back, but the show must go on, and so that's why we have the wonderful Nouchelle, who's like, she's like, what was that woman that was on Johnny Carson and she got stiffed in the end? Yeah, she was done wrong. I loved her. She's a brilliant comedian. Anybody?
I will not be done dirty. I will not be done dirty.
You will never be done dirty.
Like that.
So when I retire, you take over the show. Did y'all know who I'm talking about?
No.
No.
Oh, well, it's a brilliant comedian. She had a really cute daughter, had a crush on for years. And she was the guest host of Johnny Carson for years. And then they ended up giving it to that no talent Jay Leno. So I actually was in the studio a couple times with Jay Leno. He's about as funny as drying paint.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah. So Rachel DeSimone is our
Yes.
guest today. And I should introduce that. I was doing quite the pause there. She's with Prime 4. Now, I made that joke at her office a while back, and she didn't get it because I guess she wasn't into Roman numerals. But Prime IV is hydration and wellness. So I've been doing it for several months now, and I was referred to by a radiologist. And so I go into their office over on Sunrise, right before you get over the bridge here in Fort Lauderdale. And a radiologist is the one who told me to go. So I need no sales pitch. And I don't think their product or their services need a sales pitch. I think the proof is in the pudding. So I started doing it. I've lost 18 pounds. And it wasn't because I'm getting anything from them that really is for weight loss. But the vitamins they're feeding me helps my inflammation. And today, it is my birthday. So if anybody was going to mention, I'm going to go ahead and do it myself. I'm 61
Happy
today.
birthday.
And I feel better
And what
now.
kind of pudding is it, Kelly? What kind of pudding? Is it strawberry? Is it vanilla? Is it a combination of all 3? Happy birthday. This pudding is for you.
No sugar.
He's
Except for the sweetness I get from all my friends. But so Rachel starts to do a sales pitch on me about what they do, and I cut her off. I said, no, if I have a woman that's been a doctor for 30 years telling me this is what I need to do, and I'd already considered it, and the only way I knew about it was where you see people that drink a lot and they'd have somebody give them the IV. I'm not a big fan of that. But for people that just want to be healthy, and I want to take some of the wind out of your sail before I even let you say one word, Rachel. But I do want to talk about it because you're an RN. You were dealing with sick people for a long time, although I guess you're 29 now, so it wasn't too many years.
No, it's just the nutrients from the IVs that make me look young.
She's actually 97. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah. We got an IV for that.
One thing you told me when we were talking, when I said shut down the sales pitch, you're hooking me up and I'm in. The thing you said was you were kind of sick and tired of taking care of sick people, and you really love the transition of working people that are focused on being well and avoiding being sick. And this is the perfect home for you. So without any further ado, welcome to the show. Oh, it's time to end the show. Hey, thanks everybody.
Thanks, Kelly. Welcome. Good morning.
You remember telling me that?
I do because that's actually the story. I've been an ER nurse for 26 years, and COVID was that pivot point for me. where I felt like I had to try to do something else. So emergency room was my love and my passion. I feel like I did everything I could for 26 years. And then I wouldn't have ever thought to go into the health and wellness field. But now that I've seen what I've seen, I can't actually think about going back, because keeping people healthy makes more sense to me now than trying to treat their diseases that you're really just kind of band-aiding them. And that's how it was starting to feel in the emergency room. Like, we give drugs and they don't improve and they come back again, but you keep them well and they probably don't need to come see me in the ER anymore. So just made sense.
Exactly. Perfect example, a few weeks ago, my sinuses were bothering me because I wasn't good about taking my little allergy pills that I get from CVS. Because I do everything right. I won't say I do everything right, but I do my Rockin Wellness health shake every morning for 13 years. Big shout out to a previous guest who her and her husband developed that wonderful product. And I'm very regimented on, exercise and doing all that stuff. And I already mentioned the inflammation has made my exercise better. But a few weeks ago, I felt my sinuses acting up. So instead of taking commercial to get to the beach where I live, I took Sunrise and I shot down. And it's incredible. Whenever I go there, it's usually kind of busy, but they always have space for me. And I said, can I hook in a week early? Because I'm feeling, my sinuses are bugging me. And she's like, I'll get you right in. And so she's, oh, your sinuses are bothering. She goes, I'll make a little special concoction for you, because she's the vitamin delivery nurse. And instead of being really head sick for like a week, that was like a Thursday. On Friday, I felt, and Saturday, and then by Sunday, I felt great again. So it was real. It's an amazing way to take care of an issue, as opposed to, trying to go to the doctors these days. First of all, they just want to do it via Zoom. I went in there and I got sick. Maybe it wasn't sinuses, because I was there a couple of days before doing my annual check, which I don't know if I'll ever do again. I thought it was a complete waste of time. I was unimpressed with the doctor. She was like in her early 30s, and I looked a heck of a lot healthier than she did. And I'm twice her age.
Happy birthday, Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly.
I'm very proud of being down to 202 right now.
You look very good, Kelly.
It's wonderful to feel good at this age. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it happens by accident. I'm not a drinker. I'm not a smoker. I sucked at sports, and so I did a lot of damage to my body, which I think caused the inflammation in the first place. But I think it's so important to be able to take care of yourself and go above and beyond, stay away from sugar, blah, 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 blah. But I'm telling you, Prime IV has been a pinnacle change in the way I treat my body. So I want you to talk a little bit about that, but I also want to talk to you a little bit about your past, because we don't know a lot. So do your little, this isn't an infomercial, but I think it's important for people to hear how do you describe what you guys do for people when they come in the first time?
So, you really did touch upon it in the terms that you came in and you had an isolated issue. You thought it was your sinuses. What we do is actually we don't have people walk in from the street, look at a menu, and then just pick a drip because they've heard of this one or they think this would be good for them. How I think we differentiate ourselves is that we have you fill out that medical intake form you filled out. It's kind of a little lengthy, but based in the fact that my background's in emergency room medicine and I'm truly a registered nurse, it makes me comfortable to understand what medical history you have, what medications you already take, and certainly what vitamins and nutrients you're already on, and then what wellness goals you're trying to meet. Yours was related to inflammation. So it helps guide the consultation when we sit one-on-one with the client and we make these recommendations to help you choose the bag that's right for you. And then ultimately the goal is to not just do a one-off. Like I could see that for a hangover, right? Which is what most people think we're about. At least I made you feel good, got your hangover under control. But back to how we would regularly want to utilize these drips, you need to come at least once or twice a month to get whatever issues or health and wellness goals we're trying to tackle under control. And that's how the design works. And you saw the proof is in the pudding. You do it on a consistent basis and the improvement sticks with you. And the chair has a lot to do with it.
I was just going to say, let's talk about the chair. And I don't know who can, you talk about the chair and I'll see if it needs to be added to it.
Yeah, so we have zero gravity massage chairs, which are available to all of our members. And then some oxygen therapy we put on the client while you're doing your drip. They look at them like mini space shuttles or mini space pods. I just call them forced relaxation. And my clients, they literally go from that, go-getter type A personality is going to multitask and happen to get their nutrition to someone who literally has now been recharged and revitalized and can go conquer the day. And I love putting them in there and seeing how they can actually just unwind, let the world pass by. And then they literally just come out of there as a different person. They're just like, that's what I needed. And it's like, yes, by the way, I also hydrated you, gave you all your nutrients as well while you were asleep.
Yeah, so my friend Derek Holland, who's been on the show 3 times, he's our most reoccurring guest, and he'll probably be on again soon. Played in he still hasn't retired, so he's a Major League Baseball pitcher, played in 2 World Series for the champion Texas Rangers, all around wonderful human being. And I was down at his house, I don't know, a year and a half ago, because he has a big charity for raising money for child cancer. And that's the selflessness of the greatness of this guy. I mean, he really is, he's a lot younger than me. He's one of my heroes. I just think he's such a great guy. So I get to his house, he got this amazing house on a golf course. And he says, I gotta have you try my chair. And I tried his chair, and it was a really decent chair that probably cost a fortune.
Yeah.
I've been the last time I was there, I don't know if you saw me doing it, I was looking around trying to find a label on that chair.
Yeah, people ask us what brand.
Everything says Prime IV. Y'all kind of get a little customized on
The
this
chair
thing.
does too.
And it's very impressive, but he's got to get this chair. And it's a little awkward at 6'1.5" getting in this thing. I'm a little bigger than the average bear. And this thing snuggles you like, I don't remember coming from the womb 61 years ago today, but I envision it was something like that, and you're in your mom's womb, you're in that thing. And the more I do it, the more I get comfortable with it, but it really is. I've never fallen asleep in it, but I do reach a level of relaxation. Like they go, don't touch your phone while you're in there. And it really is. I'm there for the fluids, but that chair is absolutely amazing. And I imagine they're very, very expensive, but you guys are still very, very reasonably priced. And I don't tell the owner I'd pay more. But
thank you.
And there's different companies out there that do this. A lot of them more folk. I haven't been hungover since the 90s.
Wow.
So I can't really, and it kind of bothered me when I'd watch, because I'm a reality TV junkie, and I'm watching reality TV, and every once in a while they'll show these, people that are older than they should be getting that stupid wasted, and then they're getting the IVs the next day. I'm like, I don't like it. Now, I wish they didn't have that out, but for people that just want to take and maintain and do better, I think it's a wonderful thing. I see Nouchelle. Yes.
I have a question.
She gets hungover all the time. I apologize.
So Michelle's on the different end of the spectrum.
She's
She's celebrating your birthday right now.
She's not. She doesn't drink.
No, I don't drink.
I know.
But thinking about what Kelly he described the environment, culture, atmosphere, in addition to well-being. How did you choose the chairs? Like, what was the entire process to making this experience for your patients? Like, talk to us about the entire process, inclusive.
I like to call them members, not patients.
Okay. So the club.
The club. Yeah, they're part of the club.
The club. But talk to us about how all of it works together to give that experience that Kelly just can't get enough of. But can I back up to last week? Because he and I both were not feeling well. And he was like, you really should try this. And then he left to go get it. And he didn't give me any more information. He just says, boy, do I feel better. Hello.
Yeah. Well, next time you got to come back in with them because you'll see the difference. The peak effects of all of our drips are usually 12 to 24 hours after you have them. And the vitamins and the minerals and stuff, they actually last in the body for 2 to 4 weeks. So it's not just a one-time deal. It's actively working for you for almost a month. And that's why the membership plan works, because you'll be coming in once a month to twice a month to go ahead and get those drips.
Oh,
Go.
plus,
Yeah.
plus, what's the other thing we get? The shots.
The shots, yeah, we got a ton of IM injections, vitamin D, CoQ10, and that's part of the members package as well. But to answer your question, Michelle, Prime is a franchise model. So they designed this, I think it's about I don't want to misspeak, 3 to 4 years now of a franchise. It's based out of Colorado Springs. And we opened, I think, the second location in South Florida. And they had designed kind of the ambiance, the atmosphere, the franchise model that works best. And then they're constantly improving. That's the one thing. I've been with them almost 1.5 years now, and I've just seen nothing but a focused interest on making the experience for the client like priority number one. And safety, which is one of the things that appealed to me as an ER nurse. It's not just going and grabbing some vitamins, throwing them in the back of my car and lugging them up to your hotel room, which would not sit well with me, because I do believe that even starting an IV and giving something into someone's body is an invasive procedure, and it needs to be taken as serious as that. So they've taken all those concerns out of it because of the way that we even mix the bags here in-house. Everything we do is maintaining the integrity of the product from start to finish. And they created the model of a med spa meets medicine. It's like a married relationship. So I can safely practice as a registered nurse and provide health and wellness to clients in a calm setting with, some gentle scent, the massage chair, the lighting, the, spa music in the background. Everything is designed, even a comfy blanket and a pillow. I keep joking, but we should make like a little Prime IV pillow, like a little stuffed animal, and you can just kind of tuck everybody in there and just say, okay, take a nap. We'll see you in 30 minutes.
And so do you have to monitor, well, I guess, hello world, Wayne, wherever you are, I think Kelly is going to get his daily drip. Oh, that's the name of another show too.
Imagine if he came into this picture.
Yep, the daily drip. But so do you monitor the member, or like what is that like? How do you what's that 30 minutes? What does that
While they're
entail?
actually
45.
getting their drip? So the first thing we do when they come in for their regular drips, we go ahead and we meet with them briefly and just kind of discuss if there's any new changes to see if there's anything else we need to add to their plan for the day. There's also occasional member specials and things like that they might not be aware of, so we'd like to discuss that, we could add these on today while you're dripping. And then what we do is we do a full set of vital signs, which is important for assessment. And we talk to them about anything that might be new in their history while we're doing that. And then we start the IV. One of the things that's primarily focused is that we have a bunch of, I like to hire ER staff, not because it's my first love, but just because the way they work, their work ethic, and the way that they can be task oriented and reprioritize. So we get really busy or we slow down, they can just pivot. And so also they're really good at IV starts, right? So I don't want someone inexperienced practicing on my clients who are voluntarily coming in here to get poked with a needle. So we do the IV in the same area of the spa that we do the vitals, and then we move them over to the zero gravity massage VIP membership area. We tuck them in. The drips are usually already compounded by the nurse in the compounding room with very strict guidelines. And we hook them up. We get them comfortable, all settings we change for their comfort on the chair. And then, they drip about 30, 35 minutes, depending upon what they're doing, sometimes a little longer if they add other additional drips. And we check on them from time to time. They also have like a little nurse call bell. It's like a nurse call button in case they need us for anything. But we're frequently going in and out, but not enough to disturb them. We kind of like stay in the background. It's really, they do, some of them meditate.
And they do everything, because like I hit that nurse bell a couple of times ago because I just really wasn't getting relaxed. So I said, could you sing to me? So she sang me a nice lullaby. Okay, completely made that up. Keep going.
No, my sixth grade chorus class really came in
Yeah.
handy that day. I feel like Kelly challenges all my skills.
He challenges everybody.
Okay, so it's not just me.
I don't, so what you don't see is they also have orange in their logo stuff in
Yes,
in the
we do.
office. So I don't know, somehow they influenced me without realizing it. When I went out there one day, I needed another pair of walking shoes and workout shoes. And darn if I went back in the next time, I'm like, these things exactly match their place. They put a lot of study into how comfortable they make the place. And really everything from you walk in the door until you leave, it's a wonderful experience and it doesn't change. A lot of times you you go to get your hair cut or the dentist or whatever, the first time's real nice and the second time's a little bit not as good and then it drops. Every time it's the exact same wonderful experience and they're very selective on who they hire. So I want to tell you a quick story. So you go in for the jab. So, she's like, okay, it's time to get your jab, drop them. And I'm like, you didn't even buy me a drink. So I take it in in the posterior. It's a little bit awkward. But what was even more awkward when I went in, so then you go twice a month just to go get your jab. You just walk in and they go, okay, drop them. And, so it's a nurse who's probably, my daughter's 28, so she's got to be her age or maybe a little bit younger. And she's like, okay, drop them. And she saw me hesitate. She says, it's nothing I've seen before.
Nothing I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I do it. It was just awkward, And so then I put, and at some point it was so funny. She just goes, I've seen worse. And I'm like, what does that mean? That was pretty funny.
She's not there for moral support. She's there to do her job. Dude.
No, she handled it very well, but she was adorable. And you see different people when you're going in and out there. Rachel is a constant. It seems like she's always there, but whoever's there, they're always really good crew. And I'm starting to get comfortable a little bit with dropping my pants.
Yeah, that's always been something unique to nursing, though. I've always been fascinated that I can meet a complete stranger in 0 seconds, tell them to take their clothes off, and they just comply. And you're like, okay, This is part of my job.
There's only a couple occupations like that.
Par for the course,
right?
But I wanna ask. So, because I have migraines.
Okay.
Right. So, and sometimes the migraines are so severe that just for a person like me, suffering a migraine sufferer, how does the drip or the Prime IV, do you have a lot of migraine members?
Yes, we actually do. That's actually one of our drips is called the Myers migraine. You might have been familiar with Myers cocktails. That's one of the drips that is most popular because Dr. Myers created the IV infusion for vitamin and mineral therapy. So his name's out there, but our twist on it is people who specifically have migraines can benefit from a certain type of magnesium. And it's just compounded differently. It has sulfate in it instead of chloride. And in the Myers, we're detoxifying the body, we're treating chronic issues, but we're also giving that magnesium because it specifically can help lessen the severity of the migraine. And actually, if you did it on a regular basis, prevent the frequency of migraines throughout the year. So that's one of the big things that we have for migraines. In addition, and this is like my favorite thing to be able to offer to the public, as an ER nurse, I just know how expensive and crazy healthcare is for people and how undesirable it is to have a migraine and come to a busy emergency room where there's loud bells and chaos and people yelling. We have 2 of the most valuable medications available to us at any time for clients. So if you were actively having a migraine and you needed relief because you're nauseous or pain in your head, you have Toradol, which is an anti-inflammatory, very strong anti-inflammatory, which we would normally use in the emergency room setting, available here. It's like $29 to put it in your IV in addition to your drip. And Zofran, Again, it's one of the most well-known, safest antiemetic, like anti-nausea drugs. Again, that's one of the tools in my belt I'd be using in the ER, only the hospital would be probably charging an exorbitant amount of money for that. And we're charging like $30 to get your headache under control. Plus you're in that med spa environment. There's not chaos going around, people putting you in a hall bed and you're unable to be taken care of, and even get some kind of peace and quiet. So I love when migraine clients come in because we do actually have something that will help them immediate and then over the long term, so they can potentially have less frequent migraines and less severe migraines when they're having one. So absolutely, if you suffer from migraines, you should come in and we could get that under control.
And if you suffer from anything, I mean, people
Yeah.
with gout, which I have a good friend that John Marks that has gout, I'm like, dude, you need to go in because I heard them talking about it.
It's
And-
anti-inflammatory.
John,
you're
he just
about to-
outed you.
John's
It's just
business.
it's such a terrible word, but you know, he does real well with it, but you know, he takes medication for it. I'm all homeopathic, and this is a homeopathic solution. You know, and I've been taking vitamins for decades. My dad was a Shackley guy back in the
I remember
70s.
Shackley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but the biggest problem was I remember at one point, it was right before my sister Judy's wedding. We're in the hospital. I'm like, my dad's freaking out because Judy's getting married, but actually he had stones, kidney stones. And I don't know if I'd ever seen the guy cry before, except for, you know, watching the Washington Redskins lose. And we did a lot. They boom. But so they were treating him for stones, and he said that he thought, and he was an intelligence guy. He wasn't a medical guy, but he was concerned that all the vitamins he took gave him the stones. I don't know if it did or not, but introducing it this way and getting it directly into your bloodstream with Prime IV, I just think is genius. And
It's
being used
genius
for
and
wellness.
it's genius and it's science. One of the things that we get to educate clients about is, and I love that the people that are already focused on their health and wellness come to us so that we can have these dialogues. They'll spend a fortune on what they think is such a great oral supplement. They pay top dollar for that. And then I get to explain to them, unfortunately, the way the human body is designed, it has to go through our stomach first to get broken down. And then our liver actually filters it out again. So essentially your absorption rate's about 20%, no matter how high quality that product is. And when we give you the nutrients in the IV, it's in what's called bioavailable form. So essentially it's 100% absorbable from the get-go. And that's where the oxygen comes in, actually. A little tidbit of information. It's not just hokey pokey like Vegas style oxygen. We're putting you in hospital oxygen because hemoglobin is a little transport molecule in your blood. So it helps if you give the oxygen to the hemoglobin for it to grab onto all those nutrients, 100% absorbable, and then pass them around the body and get them into the bloodstream, you know, into the cells for use in the body. So I love the science. I'm kind of a nerd like that, but I'm in a med spa, so I don't have to worry about all the other things that come along with, you know, practicing science elsewhere.
But you know your stuff, and that gives a lot of comfort when people go in, which is extremely important. So I love it. It's you know, it's something that to me that's just been a huge deal. I'm like, you know, I really want to get you on the show. So we got to wrap up here in a minute. But so what do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? I sleep in the massage chairs and come back to work in the morning.
We're interrupting your.
I am. I'm here 5 days a week. I have 2 kids.
How often do you do the massage chair?
Oh, anytime we have extra time at the end of the day, we're doing research on the settings because there's probably about 2,000 different settings. So, you know, Justin, the owner, might actually come in and see us in the chair. We're like, oh, we're just testing this one out. We've never had this type of massage before.
It hits the neck really well, which I've never been in a massage chair that does that. And
it has 3 different features. It's like a 0 gravity, right? So you can rock a little bit and stay in a reclined position. So there's no pressure on your joints. It has an airbag feature, which is more like stretching. and then the rollers. And you can actually adjust the pressure on those because they tend to be a little stronger on smaller people versus the larger people. So, but there's just so many different ways to make the chair work for you. They said there's more expensive models than the one that we have, but I think what else do they do? Like wash your dishes? I mean, they're kind of all inclusive already.
It really is. It's an incredible
Yeah.
chair.
Yeah.
I prefer the IV's why I go, but the chair's a big bonus.
Yeah.
I love how Nouchelle's doing this today. Go ahead. Am I missing? Am I talking too much? That never happens.
No. I have so someone wants to know, since I'm on, they're texting me. You made the transition and you just said that the owner. So you're not the owner. What role do you play at Prime IV?
So I would say I manage the spa. We have different terminology for our roles at Prime. And on my business card, it's the lead infusion specialist. But I'm here 5 days a week, 40 hours a week, making sure that the business end is running and the staff is doing what we need to do. And then I have a medical hands-on of mixing the drips and, you know, doing consults with the clients and stuff like that. And then in the background with the owner, I have one-on-one that I do with him while, you know, we're working on the financial aspect of the business, because in Prime, they're a franchise and they have several models that are available to people in terms of how an owner wants to practice. We're about to, well, we actually did sign a lease for our second location out in Coral Springs, and that's closer to where I live. So eventually that will be my baby. Justin will own it, but I'll be running it. So there's this constant, actually it's a great working relationship between business owner and a medical professional. And that's, again, Prime's model to keep this thing running exactly how it needs to run. There's not to say that there's someone who can do both, right? Like I could probably get a Prime and be the owner as well. It's just that the way the model's set up is that you have someone on the business end and they kind of stay in their lane, and the medical person does that. And they kind of, you know, confer with each other to make sure that everything's being done the way it needs to be done for the company.
And then from the franchise point of view, they also have medical doctors that are involved as well.
Yeah, so
right? Each
one of us has a medical director, which is what I'm familiar with even in the emergency room setting, right? Because I'm a practicing nurse, but I follow the guidance of a physician. You know, essentially he writes orders and then I carry them out. They have protocols that are established by our medical director team, and they are constantly updated. And then we have them out in the compounding area, and the nurses follow those protocols to how much doses we can give, if there's any interactions between someone's medication or medical history, contraindications, things that would prevent us from giving them to certain clients. And that's based on the safety model that like only a registered nurse should feel comfortable practicing under, is that it's not just I'm going into someone's hotel or their house and throwing something together and, you know, giving it.
Right. And I do want to mention one more thing before we close. You have a new product that y'all will be introducing to the bloodstream soon.
Right. Yes.
And
it's the hormone replacement therapy. Is that what you were mentioning?
no,
What is it?
I'm a dude. I'm not into that stuff, but that's probably great for y'all to hear too. No,
That's coming. It's a couple months away, but they're like
but the
piloting
other
it.
one for the large people that want to be smaller.
Oh, we're doing all the peptides. Yeah, we do peptides here as well. We've been doing that for almost a year. So we have the semaglutide and the tirzepatide, as well as some Morlin. So peptide therapy is definitely where it's at. Not just for
So
weight
what's
loss.
the term that people are familiar with that's a peptide that you hear about?
Oh, the brand names? They call them Mounjaro and Ozempic out there.
Ozempic. That was the word I was looking for. So
yeah, Ozempic is very popular. And I can tell you we've made a lot of changes and changed people's lives, being able to provide that in the med spa for people that literally they just had no more options. They've dieted, they've exercised. One of the things I thought was it came online for us at exactly the right time. Post-COVID, I feel like everybody kind of, you know, got some bad habits established during that time. It was a very hard time for everybody, whether it was eating too much, becoming sedentary, drinking too much, whatever. And then these peptides came online and, it got everybody motivated again to start losing the weight, start going back out there exercising. And we've seen it really transform a lot of people's lives. It's like perfect timing for this to be available to the public. And the fact that we can offer it to them is, you know, we're so grateful to do that.
I have 3 witnesses. Last Saturday, I almost made a hole in one golfing.
Oh, because of the bag I did for you.
And it was my dad's, it would have been his birthday. It was his birthday, just he's passed. But I felt like his presence the whole time I was golfing. But so when we were done, one of the guys, and I won't mention any names, I guess it's so wrong to even say it, but he's put on a few pounds. And I said to him, I said, you know, I've lost like, 18 pounds since January 1st. I said, I think it's really helped my golf swing. I was just trying to subtly motivate him to, because I just think I want everybody to be the best that they can possibly be.
Yeah.
So if you can drink less, exercise more, and go to prime 4, or as other people
actually
that
the
aren't
peptides help people with drinking as well. It was like an indirect side effect that it actually like prevents your cravings for the alcohol, and you just don't feel so great when you're drinking. So all in all, it's not just getting the weight under control, working on insulin resistance, but it's actually creating almost like a change in the brain for like your craving of the bad things, to include some people reported they didn't want to smoke after they were taking it. And so it's been great to see that like it could be such a safe alternative to get people on the right track, to get
Right.
to a health and wellness lifestyle.
And I think it's just so important, and it's reasonably priced. It's a lot cheaper
Yes.
than medical issues.
Yeah.
But my kid's out of college. I live frugally, so to me, it's not even something I even think about. I know for some people it might be a budget decision. Just go for it, and you all do like it's funny, like a 6-month agreement. I want like a 25-year agreement.
Don't worry,
That's what I had in my head.
we're just getting started. Don't worry, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah. Well, although it sounds like you want to go to Coral Springs at some point, which I'm not really happy. This is breaking news, and I'm not real happy about it.
Right,
but-
breaking news. Breaking
Oh,
news.
okay.
Rachel lives out west, and for some reason, Florida has gotten so crowded, I can't get anywhere to the east within an hour. So
Yeah, people from up in the DC area, they'll say, "Oh, where are you living in Florida?" I go 95.
95.
I think I spend more time on 95 than I spend in my bed.
That is a true story.
But when you're looking at palm trees and boats and all that stuff, and I'm so happy that I'm gonna get in trouble with Nouchelle and my business partners. When the New York,
don't say it.
but I'm saying it anyway. The New Yorkers are all going back north right now, and it's like, see ya. Those are people. There's less honking in the off season.
Okay, I want to back you up, but I do know how we drive down here. I'm originally from Massachusetts, but we're a little crazy in Florida with this. You're in the far left lane and you suddenly decide you need to get off on that exit, and there's just no consideration for the other cars. Like 0.2 seconds, I'm just going to go. And everybody's like,
Hence the stress trip.
At
right,
Wayne's
it's the
World,
stress trip, anti-stress.
At Wayne's World and Kelly, we back the blue, but a little message. Use your turn signal, officer. Oh,
could you imagine?
So I'm going over time. So in little remembrance of my wonderful dad that I was blessed to have for 40 some years of my life, I said to my dad, I'm the youngest of 9 kids. So I said, Dad, I was like probably in my early 20s when I asked him, I said, because the guy was perfect. And I go, Dad, how are you so perfect? He goes, well, I wasn't perfect. He said, but when you've got 18 eyes staring at you all the time and you got to be a good example to them, you step up your game. And I'll always remember that, which I probably should have had more kids because I would have stepped up my game. But it truly is. You're influencing everybody around you. And if you're a police officer and you're driving like an idiot, then it hurts a little bit. And I'm a big fan of police officers. And I actually for a few minutes I played one on TV, and
Did you?
Folks, it's his birthday. He's taking every liberty that he could get. It's his birthday. He's taking.
It was a couple episodes on The Wire.
His birthday.
HBO,
Kelly's plugging
no big
Kelly.
deal. It was HBO. But The Wire, if you ever watch it, I played a sergeant for like the last 2 episodes, and you barely noticed me, but it was pretty cool. But yeah, I do have that fun connection. Okay, so now let's just take.
Joe,
I'm
have
in
you been
Baltimore.
giving him the hallucinogen?
Yeah, I mean, he
the
asks for the special sauce when he comes in, so I got to break it out of the cabinet.
The Wire was filmed in Baltimore, and so a couple years after I did it, I'm in Baltimore doing my regular job because that's what I do. A woman police officer came up to me and she asked me if I had been on The Wire, and she's the only person that ever recognized me from the show ever. And this before we started doing selfies, so I would have gotten a picture with her. But at first I thought I was looking around because I thought somebody put her up to it. But she actually recognized. The only time I've ever, it was the coolest thing.
And he hasn't stopped living in that moment yet.
Oh,
I'm sure he gets recognized nowadays for more than just The Wire. On The Wire.
Well, now people go, "Are you that guy, that goofball that does Wayne's World?" and are you the selfie king? Which I did not name myself that, but I've gotten it enough. I'd rather be the selfie prince, but apparently.
Oh, Kelly, we never took a selfie together. How come?
The next time I'm in, which I may come in for a shot in the next couple of days, I guess I have to. We'll get the crew and we'll do a selfie in front of your sign, and we'll say, "Hey, make sure you go back and watch the show if you missed it." So, oh my God! So we really appreciate your time. I know you got a lot of people to take care of. Nouchelle you're up in near Pensacola today, so thanks for stepping up for Wayne. I promise Wayne will be back on next week. And are you on LinkedIn?
Me?
Yeah. No.
Yes. Michelle. Okay, I guess it's me. Yes.
I'm going to send you a friend request as soon as I get off. And I want you to accept, and then people want to find you, they can find you. And not boys, don't ask her out on dates, or you can. But the more important, this is business. We're promoting the show.
Come and sign in for the membership first, and then we'll talk about the dates.
I love it. All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Rachel, how can we find you? Can you quickly give us an email or tell us?
I'm going to show it on. They're going to help her on LinkedIn. And she's also on Sunrise right before you get to the bridge going east in Fort Lauderdale.
Right across from the Galleria Mall in the public shopping plaza.
And you can say, "Hey,
let's
Kelly,
go shopping and dripping, people."
Yeah, shopping and dripping. You need to get that massage after, because your feet will be tired from all the shopping. So go shopping over there. Come over here and relax.
Just go shopping and dripping and massaging.
I love it. Listen, everybody enjoy my birthday, because I got to go to work.
Happy birthday, Kelly.
Thanks, dear. And I'll see you soon.
Birthday. Okay, thanks a lot. Thank you so much, Michelle. This is fun.
Be careful out there.